Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to RIU INSIGHT podcast on another new episode where we explore the research and innovation specifically for IIUM community. Today, I'm your host. We'll be talking on important topic for the modern researcher called social writing. So today, we have two enthusiast panelists joining us today to talk about the topic. We're the very first panelist, Madam Mizan Muhammad from Legal Studies. And we have second panelist, Brother Nazmi Azrymi from Language Management Department.
Hello.
And both of them actually very pioneer writer for social writing, focusing on newspaper publication. So we are so excited to have both of you. Ahlan and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Yes.
All right. So before we started to the very discussion, I shall begin with two different styles in expressing the difference between academic and social writing, and which the usual way of academician would write things. Okay. In 2021 survey indicates that 73% of academic feel their work has limited public visibility. To transform into social setting, imagine spending on your research only for it to be read by few people than your last Instagram post. In this episode, we will critically examine the multifaceted role of social writing as complementary pathway for scholarly communication beyond the confines and peer-reviewed literature. Translation, we are talking about how to make your research so clear and interesting that even your cousin who hate reading and writing would share it with others. We will interrogate the efficacy of digital platform in amplifying scholarly impact beyond traditional readership metrics. Or in other words, how X, LinkedIn, and even TikTok can make your research go viral. This discussion aims to provide a framework for adapting academic content into accessible narrative for non-specialist audiences. Basically, how do you tell your research so your grandmother and the Minister of Education would understand it fully? So now we have seen the two extremes between formality and friendly notes in expressing the points. Let's dive in on what is it basically the social writing. I shall begin on the basic to the very first man here in the room, to Brother Nazmi.
All right.
What is
sure.
actually social writing?
Whew. Okay, that is actually. It sounds like a definition.
Yeah.
It sounds like the typical research question. What is social writing? But actually, that question is bigger than people always think it would have been, because social writing, it involves so many more people.
Yeah.
Than just academic writing, journal articles. Yes, they are accessible to the public, but will the public access them? That is the question, right? That is the bigger concern. So social writing is there, in my opinion, to actually facilitate this accessibility. It's trying to give the people a platform to get to know the things that we do or the things that we try to find out. Yeah, and let it be out there for them to take on and benefit. Yeah, I think that's my opinion on that. Maybe our friend here has another opinion on that.
So maybe Madam Mizan could highlight over that differences comparing to the academic writing that would be the social writing setting.
Yeah, just like how Amirul pointed out just now, one of the biggest difference is, of course, the audience. The social writing has bigger audience and multifaceted layers of audience that you are targeting at. And it vary based on the different interests that they have.
Yes.
So unlike the academic writing, usually it's very discipline focused, certain specific area of knowledge for the interest of certain group of people. But when we do a social writing, the word social itself means it's a general public.
Society.
So, the society. So it means that when we write something meant for social writing, it is not meant for one specific group. But we usually want it to reach out to a bigger or a larger readers. So that's basically social writing. And of course, you can look at it from the format or style of writing as well. Academic writing would have a very specific format that we need to adhere to. Yeah, certain structures that you really have to adhere to. But for social writing, you can adopt various type of way of writing your thoughts into it.
So, like, is there any standard if compared to the academic writing? Like, or you just can pour everything that you just wanted people to know in
There
social
is no,
writing?
I would say there is no specific structure that you have to follow, because it's meant for laymen or for common people to read. So we want it to be as accessible as possible to different kind of readers, different set of age, different set of backgrounds, but reading the same thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So of course, it is a bit more loose in terms of the format of writing. Yeah.
And
Because-
if I may add, it
Yeah.
also depends on the platform
Correct.
in which you are publishing or voicing out your thoughts in the form of the social writing. For example, if you are posting, let's say, on social media, Facebook, Instagram posts, like you mentioned earlier, LinkedIn, okay, of course, it's a bit loose compared to the likes of, let's say, newspapers.
Yep.
Because we know that newspapers, they have their own standards, structures, their in-house style.
Yeah.
But on social media, they don't have those. So that's why I mentioned it depends also about the flexibility.
So the ultimate things in writing to the society is to make it accessible rather than to make the person to become expert. I think
Correct.
Yes,
when
accessible
you write
and
academic
understandable.
writing, you must use the jargon whatnot because you talk to the expert as though you are the
Yeah.
expert too.
Yes.
But then the social writing is something like very loose and then make people are wanting to understand the concept that is very abstract,
Sometimes complex.
complex, but then easier for them into their layman.
Exactly.
Interesting. That is very interesting. And moving on, maybe you just mentioned on the social media, what else that you could, say to people outside that might want to explore over the platforms in joining the social writing style?
As far as social media is concerned, I personally do not have much experience writing in the social media. My social media is really about socializing.
Understand?
Especially when I stopped this one particular social media platform. But I think if you're going for social media is very opinion based. It's very personal opinion based. But if you're going for other platforms like newspapers or magazines, the semi academic kind of magazine, like those one that I used to publish an article is probably Dewan Masyarakat, where you have a targeted group of readers. You know who read this kind of magazine. So the style of writing, as well as the content, the arrangement of contents, and the curation of the content itself will be different from social media, because social media, it has to be what we call it as clickbait. Clickbait. It needs to have that nature. People don't really like reading something that is too lengthy, too complex in terms of the idea. Something that is social media, that is the very nature of social media. It's short, precise, and impactful.
True.
That's if you're exploring social media.
Maybe Nazmi want to add on the other platform that could be explored.
Actually, if I have to add, I wouldn't add on to other platforms, because when we talk about accessibility, I think social media is something that everybody will have. If they don't have, usually is the people who choose not to have all these social media platforms and whatnot. With regards to social media, I agree with Sister Mizan, where she said that it's really opinion based. But I also would like to add that nowadays, social media has gone through this sort of evolution. It's no longer the place where we only socialized, if I have to say it that way, because it's now based on content creation. It's like the trend in the past 5-6 years.
It become a job now.
Yeah, it has become a job. 10 years ago, we didn't think content creation would be a job.
Now everybody wants to
be content creator. Ya Allah, our students. Why do you want to be? Why you want to be in law? I want to create law content.
Yeah.
Mashallah. But back to social media. So when it has been focused on content creation, even the users or even the people who want to produce all these postings, they have to figure out what their niche would be. You cannot be somebody who just posts random stuff and expect your account to blow up. In followers, in the views. Like for example, this is what I learned when in my past job as a content moderator. They said, if you want to be a good content creator and you want people to actually follow you, you have to write or you have to produce videos or articles that talk about a specific niche. So, and another friend of mine who used to become a columnist for Malaysia Kini, he said, if you want to be a columnist as well, you have to keep on writing on one specific niche. You can't really be, today you talk about education, next you talk about politics, and then next you talk about fashion. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't sound human either.
Right.
It sounds so AI.
There you go. So that's why if we are talking about how we can entice people to start on social writing, they can choose the platform that they want. If they want to go big, they can go for, like Sister Mizan said, newspaper, magazines, or even they can go to like TV and speak for themselves in front of TV, in front of the camera. But a lot of people definitely they will choose to be on social media. For example, right now, because we are now in the education field, I do follow a lot of people who post about education niche on Facebook. Also, I've been following this one fella, Cikgu Fadli, if you have heard of him. Okay, regardless of his political beliefs, regardless of what he posts, but the thing is, he knows what he's talking about. When he's writing, he knows his target audience. He knows what he wants to say, and he always go back to the education niche because that's his niche. And that thing brought him his audience. That's how, even though, like I said, regardless of his beliefs, regardless of his values, regardless of what he's saying, whether it's right or wrong, people will always strive to go for his account to get something impactful. So being niche is important lah. It doesn't matter the platform.
Oh, I see. Meaning that it really have a good engagement with the society. But maybe just because just pop up to my mind, what's the principle then the social writer would uphold to? Is it just to be accepted
famous,
to be famous, whatnot, and then to be all the likes and views, or what?
Yes.
You personally, maybe.
My reason of writing is because there was a time when I sat with my mentor, and he used to say this. He said that we are people with knowledge, and one of the ways for you to make sure that your knowledge doesn't die with you, even when you die, is by writing.
Yes.
You need to put it out, pen it down, leave it somewhere. It may not reach the audience now, but sometimes down the road, probably 10 years ahead, it will reach out to certain audience. So I think that was the preliminary motivation that I have. It's about leaving behind what you have for the benefit of others. It may not be seen as important now, but it may be important somewhere, sometimes. So it's not about getting famous. It's not about being famous. It's not about having how many million of readers. But it really is about documenting and recording the knowledge that you have, and writing it down is the way to go.
Yes.
Because if you don't record it somewhere, as you're gone, it will be gone with you.
Lost in time.
Yeah, it will lost in time.
Mashallah, very social writer styling.
So that's for me lah. I'm not sure about others, but I think regardless of the type of writing that you put down, it has to be written somewhere. And sometimes it may not necessarily has to be published while you are here. There are exactly there were some instances where it was initially a writing of journals, like a personal journals, only later to be discovered and be published by other people.
True.
So
yeah, that's a good reminder. Pen it down, everyone, babes. Okay, how about you, brother?
Yeah, I agree with Sister Mizan. First thing is to actually document it, and well, do you believe in immortality? Immortality, being able to live forever and ever and ever. Well, of course, we human beings, we cannot live forever. But actually, the things that we do, the things that we say, the things that we write, they can.
Yep.
Yeah, even I'm a literature guy. I mean, I graduated with masters in literature. I learned a lot about the poets back then. Okay, and one of the stories about this one famous poet sticks with me until today.
Okay.
William Shakespeare. Ever heard of him?
Yep.
Yeah, he's famous, right? Ever heard of his poem, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day?
Never heard.
Yeah, it's a very romantic poet.
Mashallah.
People always, it's like Romeo and Juliet. People always like misquote it as something romantic. It's about romance.
Yeah.
But actually that poem, according to my professor, Prof. Mahmud in Gombak, apparently it is a poem about immortalizing a friend. Yeah, because Shakespeare knew his friend would someday die. He too would someday die. But the way that he can immortalize that friend is to write that poem. And from that poem, until today, 2025, I'm still teaching my student that poem.
Yeah.
That friend is immortalized. So I think it really connects with what Mr. Mizan said just now. Even after we are long gone, maybe 100 years down the road, whatever we write can still be there and can still impact lives. It doesn't matter whether it's 1 life, 2 lives, 100 lives, thousands lives. It really doesn't matter. As long as it's impactful, it's impactful. Yeah. So that is also another motivation of mine, aside from documenting it, immortalizing it. I want to make sure it has an impact. Somehow. My first ever social writing product is a newspaper article. And I remember the title is Stop Lying to Our Children About Education. It came because I was so angry that my own students don't see this education and the education institutions as something worthy, because people have been telling them, do this, do that, don't go to study, don't take this course, don't take that course, because you're not going to get a good future. And that's why I said, you know what, stop lying. I want to at least make sure people understand that. I mean, of course, we don't have like a proper survey to go and see, hey, did you read this article and are you impacted? But at least from
academic writing.
That's academic writing, right? But at least from the comment sections of that article, I can see that some people actually feel like, oh yeah, you are right. So that is the goal as well.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Speaking about impact, to your knowledge, would you like to share anything that you know that is coming from academic but is transformed into social writing base and it become any kind of policy or any kind of standard or procedure or any law? To you, madam?
Do you mean my writing?
Maybe yours, or anything to your mind that you would know
that
would be impactful.
Of course, I think there are a lot of write-ups out there that have actually transformed into something more formal and more significant to a point where it becomes policy. One example that probably I can share from the history of human civilization, if you know Che Guevara, one of the revolutionists. Cuban revolutionists.
Cuba,
and there was this one letter that he wrote to the leader that had caused the movement to grow bigger, and that had motivated the Cuban Revolution movement to move against fighting against the colonial. And it started with only one letter which he wrote while he was hiding in the forest.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah. and it became one of the infamous letters that you can find in the history lah. And I think if you were to look at our own history, for example, in the 60s, when we nationally were also facing a lot of turmoils and political challenges at that time. If you read a book, the memoir of Tun Dr. Ismail, he at that time he was one of the key ministers in the government, and in that book you could read some of the exchange letters between him and the then Tun Abdul Razak as the prime minister at that time, which left or which led to a national policy discussions. But it was in a form of letters. It probably was not published at that time, but that because letters, especially that kind of letters, could be very impactful to a degree where you find that it motivates certain kind of movement, certain kind of decision-making process. For me, I think the type of social writing that impacted me a lot is, of course, books, memoir kind of books.
That is a social setting.
Yeah, it is. One of the books, if I can recommend to the readers out there, would be Tuesdays with Maury.
Masya Allah. That is my favorite.
Your favorite too, right?
It's just a sitting with the teacher on the bench on Tuesday.
Yes.
Masya Allah.
Yes. And it's a memoir book, but what I learned about that book is not just the values or the lessons that he tried to narrate to us, but also the writing style. In that book, you learn how to write a memoir, but at the same time using a storytelling technique. Like because that's the beauty of social writing.
Indeed.
Compared to academic writing.
You're not bound.
You are not bound by only one template or one style of writing. You can adopt whichever ways that is convenient to you.
Fitting as well.
That's fitting. That meets the target audience that you are aiming. So you can use the storytelling technique. You can use the narrative technique. You can use argumentative technique for that matter. So it really depends on how and what aim are you trying to attain through your writing. So so I think those kind of things, people don't really see it as social writing product, but it is actually a form of social writing. So who knows, if you have something that you're not satisfied with, you write a letter and that letter is published somewhere, and it may be taken into account and be considered for certain policy changes.
Yeah, that is more sustainable than just writing on threads, people.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we can go to the next, where why do you think, I'm sure everyone would agree on how tedious work of completing one academic writing. Now you have such a, it's not a burden, it's such a challenge to make sure whatever that you write in your setting of academic would be understood by the layman. Okay, so what is it still important to your understanding to reach out to the people rather than just to have the complexity idea in the pattern of academic writing? Brother Nazmi.
Okay, when you were asking that question, I was reminded of what my supervisor used to say, because I remember we as undergraduate students, we used to complain, why is the journal article so difficult to understand? Why is the language so weird? we were English
Zombie noun.
majors.
Stephen Parker said it's a zombie nouns. One of the physiolinguists, psycholinguists.
And we were like, we are language majors, and even we find it difficult to understand. And we asked our Dr. Madiha, she later became my supervisor for my masters. She said the reason why it's so difficult to understand is because, like you mentioned earlier, Afiqah, it is actually not for the layman. It is for your peers in the academia. Okay, so now when we have the content or the knowledge at the academia level, there is one more layer that people always forget to go to, which is to really supply to the people who truly needs the knowledge, which is the layman lah, the
public.
everyday public, right?
Society,
Yeah. So the reason why it's still important is that because, like I said, we always forget that layer. So when we forget the layer, it makes universities distant
Yeah.
from the public. It makes the academic world, it's like a separate multiverse or something. You know, like the public is one universe and then the academia is one universe. And that's why a lot of people, they resent these doctors, these professors, and they'll be like, oh, they don't care much, they are arrogant and whatnot because of that distance. So in order to to bridge the gap between these two worlds, that's why it is actually a job for us in the academic world to supply it to the layman in ways that they can understand. Because we are so used to the structures, we are so used to the language, the style of the academic world. For us, it's nothing. But imagine, let's say now we have the new cohort, right, for our students. Give them the journal article, ask them to read for the first time ever. Guess what will they say? So what is
Blank
this?
stare.
Blank stare, or immediately goes to ChatGPT to summarize the article.
Indeed.
So right, that is my point. It has to be something about bridging the gap. Yeah. If not, then what is the purpose of our existence in the first place? Yeah.
Inshallah.
Because knowledge is supposed to be for everyone.
Yes.
It's not meant only for those who go to universities.
Even the Quranic verse is for everyone, right? The famous
Indeed.
Quranic verse, Iqra.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
for everyone to read. And meaning from that word, which everyone able and must read to
Yes.
their own
Correct.
ability.
Yes.
And that is why it's very not a burden, but a challenge to add it more to our task, inshallah. So, Madam Mizan, what's the risk of doing this social writing on the shoulder of academician?
There is no risk.
Okay.
Like I personally think that there is no risk unless you write it to cause stir or to stir unnecessary dispute or unnecessary conflict. But otherwise, if your intention of writing is about sharing of information, it's about educating the society, it's about bridging like the gap, like Amirul said, then that there is really no specific risk that you should worry about. Though of course it may come with certain challenges in writing for a social write-up, but that challenges can always be overcome as you keep on practicing writing it.
Speaking of that, maybe Madam would share how do you compartment your skill of doing the academic and social writing for all the viewer to know to not having very complicated thing. Would you like to share?
That's one thing about writing. This is also a form of communication, right? Just like we are communicating right now, just like when you are conveying certain messages orally, the same principle applies when you want to write. It's about you communicating certain ideas, certain information to people. Therefore, one of the first things that you really need to observe is you need to know your audience.
Yes.
That's very important. You need to know who are going to read your materials.
Yes.
You need to know who do you want this to be read by. Is it a commoners, just any general public, or are you targeting a specific group of people like policymakers? Are you targeting it? What's your aim as well is another thing that you should have at the back of your mind as you write. Is your writing for the purpose of mere sharing of opinion, or is your writing is meant to persuade people to believe in certain ideology, in certain principle, in certain views. So you really need to know these things first before you can pen down your idea, because that will really determine the language that you're going to use, the tone of your language. If you're speaking orally, the tone is pretty easy for you to identify, like the voice intonation. But when you're writing, there's certain kind of intonation that you need to bear in mind as well. So if you're writing it for high schoolers, for example, or even for social media write-up, you need to know who are your social media followers, right? Because otherwise it won't be relatable, because otherwise it would not reach the target audience, and it will not serve the purpose that you have at the back of your mind.
Exactly.
So this probably challenges, or rather things that you need to bear in mind before you write certain piece of article or write-up.
How about Amirul Nazmi, your own experience?
Just to extend a little bit on Sister Mizan. Okay, for me personally, I think I'm lucky in this sense, because I'm the kind of person who doesn't speak the way I write. Yeah, because some people, the way that they write is the way that they speak, and vice versa. But for me, if I have to write, like for example, academic writing, I know what kind of writing I have to go on with. I know that I have to change my personality or whatnot. Okay, but with writing, with social writing to the public, I know the best thing I can do is actually to write it as if I'm talking to them, as if I'm conversing with them. Okay, like I'm having a casual conversation, like we are doing right now, you know, like sembang kedai kopi. I mean, of course, sembang kedai kopi is going to be another extreme sport. We must put it that way. But you know, you have to know your audience, because some audience, they don't like too complicated a topic. Okay, like for example, we know certain people, they go to work every day. They go out of their home early in the morning, they come back to their home late at night. The only thing that they want to do is relax, you know. And if you shove them with, you know, a heavy topic, heavy writing, heavy tone, they would not like it. Yeah. So
people read for different reasons.
Yeah, people read for different reasons.
Some read for leisure.
Yes.
Some read for information. Some read for in order for them to help them to form certain opinions.
Yes.
For example,
to win arguments as well sometimes.
To win arguments. So, but I think what readers expect should not be the cause for you to worry in penning down your opinion.
You write first.
Yeah, you write first, and then you tailor it to the specific target that you are aiming for. And do not worry too much. Don't overthinking about, are they going to like me? Who's going to read my article? Is it going to reach anyone anyway? Kan, we probably might have that worry. I had that worry when I started. But it doesn't matter, because I think what matters is you have a very clear objective of what you want to convey through your writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way you write depends on what comes next.
Correct.
So it means clarity strengthens understanding. Understanding amplifies impact.
Yes.
All right. But how then the issues of people are not, like you said, people would have their own intention in reading, right? How then we as academicians that try to join the social writing will not try to, dumbing down your anything that you know to be exposed to the people.
How not to let that happen?
Yeah, not to be like, it's like, for example, a jargon is a very big thing, and then how is that would be simplified, easier for the layman to understand, but you still cannot try to make it lower or lesser from the very core of the discussion.
I think certain terms, if you think that is the core of the discussion, it should still be there. But there should also be an effort of trying to make people understand from the layman punya perspective, right? I'm not from a science background, but if you're from science background, for example, you're talking about microorganism of something. Of course, people who don't learn science wouldn't even know
That's
what is
alien.
that. That's
What gibberish
alien.
is
What
that?
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the role of us being from the academic world, translating it to the layman readers. When you want to write in social platform, it does not mean that you have to take away every jargons and try to simplify and try to put it in the most simple words possible all the time. But what is more important is, even if you want to use certain jargons, can that jargon be understood? So that's probably another challenge of translating the jargons to the common understanding of the general readers. Yeah.
But that should be observed too, right?
Correct.
You agree? Okay.
Yeah.
Brother Nazmi?
Yeah, I agree with Sister Mizan about, if it's the core of the discussion, it should still be there. However, I do understand the concern of, whether it is understandable or not, whether it will hold of interest, in reading our writing and, getting the impact of it. So personally, what I would do is, being from an arts background, it's actually quite casual for me to form analogies because analogies are great ways, a technique to make people understand the way that they probably would understand better. Like for example, if let's say your target audience are, let's say, teachers, then form an analogy that teachers will understand. If your target audience are, let's say you're writing about politics, your target audience are Malaysian voters, then form an analogy that Malaysian voters would understand. Will benefit from here.
And as a writer, right, another way of looking at the use of jargons, sometimes you can use these jargons as the attention catcher.
Yes.
Attention getter.
Yes,
because sometimes,
definitely.
People get curious. What word is this? Ini apa dia ni kan? Ni konsep apa ni? So sometimes you can look at it that way. But don't use it according to how you use it for academic writing.
Yeah, agree. Very
You can
much agree.
still use the
That's the golden
jargons, but use it in the layman punya perspective and understanding.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Agree. And I think talking about analogical and metaphor punya expression is very Quranic.
Correct.
Of
It is.
overall things, we are not the one who speak Arabic, but somehow we could relate of how does God try to explain things in a
Correct.
very metaphor manner.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. All right. Coming to the end of the questions. Subhanallah. So like those of people who are listening to this, they will be very enthusiastic and very esteemed to do this.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully, I mean.
Inshallah. Can you give us such a kickstart of pursuing this social writing?
Sharing from my own experience, I have this habit of writing down things that I observe. As a matter of fact, I have actually a box of notebooks that I have been collecting since my student days. Because I have those things that I observe while walking or even after certain conversation, and I think this is something important and interesting for me to explore more. So I would write it down, even just one line. Just put it somewhere, and then later you might come to that and give you an inspiration or an idea for you to read further, and later on you can expand it through your own writing. So the key is just write somewhere. Just write somewhere. Now you have iPad or anything, whatever that is.
Your phones.
Yeah, your phones. Keep it somewhere. And from there you can keep on, expanding, polishing, rewriting, rearranging the thoughts and whatnot. When you have that confidence of publishing it, just do it. My first attempt of making public read what I have in mind was just a small column in Dewan Masyarakat, letters from readers. Very, very short, and in fact masa tu it was actually my friend who was deputy editor of the Majalah. So he said, we are looking for letters from readers, contributions. And another motivation was that you'll get paid.
Yeah.
For that
Mashallah.
simple columns. Okay, will I get paid? Yes. Okay, I'll write. So you just need to read something from that magazine and then express your opinion about that particular article, whether you like it, you don't like it, what you think could have been better. Something like that. Very simple, very casual, very relaxed. It's just your opinion as a reader. That's it.
Yeah, you keep saying about letter, which is subhanallah, that is everyone able to do so.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
we
not
are
something-
in the 90s. We wrote a lot of letters.
Yeah, you should too now. 20,
The Gen Zs and the Alpha
Gen Zs,
Gens.
whatever.
Please
Alpha.
write. Yeah.
How about you, brother?
Yeah,
What you will say to the viewer?
Just to extend, I love extending from her point.
That's good. This is very, very fruitful discussion.
Okay, yeah, sure. Write down the things that you want to write down, and do not delay. Because personally, for me, if I delay, it will be somewhere in the clouds. It will-
Gone with you.
Yeah, gone
Yeah,
with you,
not mortal,
gone with whatever, gone with the wind. I think a lot. I have a lot of thoughts in my mind all the time, even during shower. That's why they say, the toilet is the best place to think, because that's when a lot of my thoughts come in as well. So a lot of my thoughts, they will come at these weird times, random times. Even just now, I was like, something pops up in my mind. Write it down and don't delay. That is really key, because the moment that you delay, then it will be gone. But I understand some people they find it burdensome or for some reason to write down, to type. So what do? You see WhatsApp. Now we can send messages to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just open that WhatsApp. I just voice note.
Voice note.
Yeah. Voice note
Easier.
and then just listen to it again. And like Sister Mizan said, you can polish it, you can rewrite it, you can listen to it again and see if it really makes sense or not. Okay, is it viable? Okay, sometimes our thoughts, it's not exactly viable. You have to really refurbish it. Okay, and then another thing that I can maybe advise our listeners. Yeah, there will be risks and there will be counters towards what you publish. Yeah. Personally, I have had this one article where I got huge backlash. It was about Israel-Palestine. Yeah. So that was my second last article so far. I wrote it because I thought the academia has been pretty much silent about the bombings, about the atrocities, about the genocide overall. And then I wrote it, I published it, it got published. And then I made the mistake of looking at the comment section. It pretty much broke my heart. Yeah, you thought you are doing something good, but people got angry at you. I remember the comments. So are you not condemning Hamas? What about the Israeli children who got killed and so on? And then I remember these two comments, pretty much the same thing. So the gist of it, very poorly written article. That's fine.
Ouch.
The funny thing is that the next time I wrote, remember during last Ramadan, where the Ministry of Education wanted to open the cafeteria, open the canteens during the
Ramadan
operating hours, kan?
the kids,
Yeah, and then that issue got a bit of backlash, right? So I wrote an article about connecting that policy towards humanizing education, because IIUM's policy, right? The thing is, the funny thing, I got the comment, very nicely written article.
Alhamdulillah.
The thing is, the funnier thing is that I did not change a thing. I did not change the formula of my writing. I kept it the way that I wrote it in the previous article that got the backlash. Just because of the issues. I got one very bad remarks, another one somehow very positive remarks. So it depends on who your audience.
Because it's a social writing, so you have a very diverse readers.
It's wild, wild west.
Not everybody will
agree with you.
Yeah.
Not everybody will buy your idea. So some will completely reject it.
Yes.
But at the same time, you will also get people who will fully support your idea and agree with you. So don't mind the readers much. But it's good to take into consideration their comments for your personal improvement and as a check and balance to whatever opinion that you write in the social writing.
True.
Yeah, but I think
Don't
maybe
let it stop you.
Don't let it stop you. And if you are very cautious about whether it is acceptable or not, my practice has always been before I send it to any platforms for publication.
Peer review.
Yeah, I get it read by, of course, my mentor, and then also I pick one or two general reader that I know, see whether it clicks or not. See whether they say, macam best je. If you just get that comment, macam best je, just go. Yeah.
Do it, yeah.
There will be people who hate your writing. Don't worry about that.
Even you yourself can hate your writing.
Exactly.
Yeah, even you yourself can hate your writing.
After you read it back, macam
Cringe.
Range.
Yes.
Okay,
It's normal,
understand. All right, alhamdulillah. We are now very ending the discussion, and thank you for both of you sharing of the very good opinions.
Thank you for
It's a
having
pleasure.
us.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
So just to remind again, you give even such a very good cause of begin the writing to the society, and it reminds me of the Prophet Muhammad SAW hadith where he mentioned that the ink of the scholar is better than the blood of the martyr.
Yes.
Which martyr is defending the maybe religion, the country, but then the scholar is sustained for the next generation to immortalize the thing. All right, thank you everyone. Please don't forget to like and review, and then share it to others if it's beneficial to your knowledge. Until next time,
Inshallah.
don't forget and let your ink leave a legacy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.